Quote, I said they would be 8 points behind by March, but now they're there to be caught. Do they have the mentality? End quote. Craig Cairns, who am I?
You are Charlie Mulgrew, which I was putting an article together earlier looking at some memorable matches from the season, and I got to this Kilmarnock game, and all I could think about was Charlie Mulgrew, while the Hearts fans were delirious celebrating a 3-0 win, which was at the time felt like a wee bit of a sort of statement away performance. I know it was Kilmarnock, and I know it was like their sub-goalkeeper and all that kind of stuff, and they've not done very well since that game. But the Hearts fans were giving it loudly, to use a sort of well-worn recent phrase, and Mulgrew was struggling to be heard while he was talking about, I don't think it'll last. They'll be third by March, all that kind of stuff. Yes. So I don't know if that's a direct quote from then, but it was definitely around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was back in December. I think he said that. So yes, I was for a brief second Charlie Mulgrew, and man, I would like to have that hair. If there was one thing I'd like to make from Charlie Mulgrew. Hello and welcome to the latest from Hearts Standard. My name is Joel Sked, and thank you for joining us for another episode covering the Scottish Premiership League leaders, brought to you by Campbell Muir. We are going to be reflecting on the latest from Heart of Midlothian Football Club, including another Derek McInnes award, the latest team news ahead of the trip to Fir Park on Saturday, the Tynecastle atmosphere and some nonsensical comments this week, and finally a wee check on that title race. So, Craig, we'll start with Derek McInnes. Derek McInnes was announced as the Glens Premiership Manager of the Year to go along with his PFA Scotland Manager of the Year. Before we get to talking about McInnes, he became the first Hearts boss to win the PFA Manager of the Award. And there's only, in terms of the Scottish football writers, which has been going for longer, the Manager Award certainly, only one Hearts boss has won that award. Do you know who?
I mean, it would have to be... I'm trying to think when these started. Would it have been first era Jim Jeffries?
No, but I'm going to...
I don't know if they go that far back. That's why I was hesitating.
I'll give you the years. I think they do go back. Let me go back to the late 80s or early... Yeah, so late 80s. Jim Jeffries didn't win it. So it was in the 2000s that a Hearts manager won it.
Oh, I'm not sure then. Was it Levine when he, like the year we went to Europe the year after, around like 2004 or whenever it was? I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me because I'm just going to embarrass myself otherwise.
A couple of guys have said Alex McDonald. It wasn't. It started just after. It started in the 86-87 season, but it was Shaba Laszlo in 2008-2009.
Somebody, I have to give them, there you go. That came in just as you were saying it. So giving typing time and internet bandwidth and all that, he answered before you actually did say it. And
sorry, I just got a message from someone else who was watching, and I just flashed up Shaba Laszlo. So yes, well done, for getting it correct. Scottish TV Gold, like said, Levine for his back-to-back third places. It was very much dominated by Rangers and Celtic managers over the year, like Dick Advocaat and Martin O'Neill. Not like they didn't have millions to spend to get to their team top of the league and to win the league title. Now, Derek McInnes.
I just see on that, while you're talking about the Writers' Awards, I was speaking to somebody earlier today, and I suggested that I think Shankland might win the Player Writers' Award.
I don't. I very much could believe that. I am a member of the Scottish Football Writers Association. I don't think I've had anything to vote on, so I don't think the votes have taken place yet. So, which is probably good because it takes into account more of the season. Mm-hmm. Now, Craig, we could talk all day about McInnes and his impact at Hearts, and we will do that in an episode at the end of the season. I have no doubt, but. Just to kind of keep it brief so we can cover different topics, what's most impressed you about the job he has done since taking over almost 12 months ago?
That we were having a chat about this recently. I think it might have been on another podcast, and I think you spoke a while about, or was it maybe a podcast we did? Anyway, to add to what you said that wasn't mentioned during that discussion is, I think on top of all the obvious, the improving the players that were already there, the turning Hearts from a bottom six team onto the verge of the title, all those kind of things. I think the job he's done with not only being a big squad, but integrating all these new signings, which was a completely new challenge for him. Now, he did speak about it. He was asked about it and spoke about it fairly early in his time about only really having British-based players before, and there was reasons for that. I mean, sometimes it does come down to scouting, especially when he was at clubs where he was effectively doing all the recruitment.
Yes. He made a very, very funny remark in the Heart Standard event when we were discussing when you asked him about it.
Exactly, and it's just you kind of have to work with your limitations, and one of the draws of the Hearts job now, and one of the things that's part of the Hearts job now is this new recruitment tool. And so there were question marks. I mean, I thought it was overplayed about how he was going to work under a sporting director and work with overseas signings and not being in charge of the recruitment and that kind of thing. But I think the way he has integrated everybody, I think you look early in the season, and I think he tried to do it a wee bit ahead of schedule. But at the same time, I don't think he knew he was going to be in a title race. And he probably would have played things differently from the start of the season if he knew how the season was going to transpire. So there was times where he maybe tried to get Magnuson and Kabori into the team a wee bit earlier than he should have. Now, you can see them doing well in training and think, oh, yeah, they're ready. And then when you see them in the game, it's like, well, maybe they're not. We'll take a step back. But I feel like there was a few games, Kabori especially, I think he was choking to get Kabori into the team.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of there was times where it sort of disrupted other players or it didn't quite work and that kind of thing. But I think other than that, very, very minor criticism, I think he's done a brilliant job to keep everybody happy and everybody on the same page. There hasn't been any kind of disgruntlement. There hasn't been anybody working their ticket to try and get out. There's been nobody talking to foreign press about not getting as many minutes as they would have liked or anything like that. And so as well as the team bond, the way he's used the squad throughout the season, and he's needed to use most of it.
Yeah.
And just everything down to what's been highlighted recently with the celebrations, Kabangu behind the dugout at the derby. I really liked how the embrace of Harry Milne and Stephen Kingsley on the pitch after the game on Monday night, things like that. I think he deserves enormous credit for. I mean, we knew his man management was great, so we probably shouldn't be surprised. But I think that side of things have been really great.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's because I am a boring bastard. I like baseball and was listening to a baseball podcast, and they were talking about the role of the manager, and it's changed. It's changed in time, but one of the key roles, and it doesn't matter what era you're in. One of the key roles was, and I'll relate this to football, is now with the bigger squad, a good manager makes because you can name a squad of 20, makes the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, in terms of Hearts, 27th, 28th, 29th player in the squad. Guys who are left out or are on the kind of outskirts of the team, he makes them feel as involved or as important as those who are playing every week. And I think that's been a real key to the squad, the squad management and the dressing culture, is that he has made these guys feel really involved and really important. I think that's been really key to kind of expand on what you said. And then the other thing was, and this is something that when I thought he should have been the next Hearts manager, and the big thing is I thought he would get it. And I think he has got it from the moment he's walked through the door. He's pushed for Tynecastle to be the way that we all want Tynecastle to be, and he said all the right things. And I think we kind of started to see that more and more this season in terms of the way the environment is around Tynecastle, and he's really bought into that. And he said, I don't think he's not just come in and said the right thing for saying the right thing sake. He has came in and said the right thing because he knows, he believes it, and he knows that's the case.
Yes, he's had us all on strings all season, but I do not mean that in a derogatory sense at all. He's just, I've said this many times, but he knows how to work the media. He knows what to say. He knows how what to say for the fans and all those kind of things. And I appreciate that's a lot easier to do all these things when you're winning matches, but he's done it without ever trying to pull the wool over the fans' eyes as well. I think he's always been fairly honest the way he's spoke about matches after the game and other sort of related issues.
Yeah, I'll bring in some comments before we move on. Jambo Stew says, next up, Derek McInnes. Derek McInnes is GQ Man of the Year. And this one, Craig Young says, if Dell gets us across the line, surely the man deserves a knighthood. Now, the reason I really wanted to bring this in is I was in the gym this morning, and they've got these, I don't know, like PA board things that give you like the latest news, and it came up with it was Gareth Southgate saying something about PE, and then I noticed it was Sir Gareth Southgate. It's like if he can get a knighthood for not winning anything with England, then Derek McInnes should surely get a knighthood for taking Hearts to the Scottish Premiership title. Where are we? What else we've got? Couple of guys, Liam Summers, McInnes equals trust. Simple as that for me. Beatbot Boot says, I feel safe with Derek McInnes in the dugout. John Ross Campbell, apart from Kelly away, I can't think of a game where you didn't think we would score. I just have that faith we can get out of any situation, and that's thanks to Dell. He galvanised the team, and clearly his management style was top notch. He made the whole team an absolute unit.
Is it two matches that Hearts haven't scored in? Sorry, man. I was just with that one of those last comments. Is it just the 2 matches that Hearts haven't scored in? Killie St Mirren away, 1-0 defeats. No, Motherwell away. 0-0. So 3 games out of what, 35? Not too bad. It's not too bad at all.
Christopher Mackey, this is can barely see Craig. McInnes has always been a manager that's done brilliant at every club he's been with. He's always had a Scottish core wherever he's been, and same again at us, especially Halkett, Finlay and Shanklin up top. I also believe the fact he's been backed by the board has really helped. I believe, and might be too early to say that but he'll be up there with the best Scottish managers in history. He also galvanised the fan base as well. Everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. Again,
I think that's a good point about one of the best Scottish managers in history. I mean, that would be no doubt. Surely, I mean, he's already got a great body of work there, but to cap off what he's done so far by being the first manager outside Rangers and Celtic to win the league in 40 years, then, I mean, surely, it got to go down as one of the great Scottish managers after that. Absolutely. And a couple of guys have said 4. Aberdeen, Motherwell, Killie and St Mirren. Thank you. 3-1-0 defeats away. Yes. Yeah. So they're all away from home as well, which makes sense because they've not lost at home this season. I mean, I appreciate you can draw 0-0 at home, but yeah. But like I said, we will. I'm sure we'll discuss Derek McInnes and his credentials for a knighthood later on in the summer. Jambo Lewis saying, I fear we may struggle hunking about 35 life-size statues. I tell you what, I would very much be happy with the foundation, like the Foundation Plaza turning into like Stonehenge, but instead it's just the Hearts. It's just everyone involved with Hearts this season in a big circle, just of statues. We'll move on to today. Derek McInnes spoke at the press conference. He did broadcast, he did written, and he did Sky as well because of his award for Manager of the Year from Glens. He gave an update on the squad ahead of the weekend. The only change from the squad that faced Rangers on Monday may be the inclusion of Cammy Devlin and or Harry Milne, because again we don't really know. And looking at the pictures that were put out today, it looks like Harry Milne's kind of still doing more running, where Cammy Devlin's probably been a bit more involved. But rather than discuss about what they bring and the uncertainty of around it, out of the two, Craig, who is the one you would prefer to return for this game? Oh, I appreciate that's a difficult question. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a really difficult one. I was going to say I can't really decide but Devlin because we're kind of struggling for numbers in the centre midfield, but at the same time, we've been run with one left back for the longest time now as well. Even when Milne was fit, Kingsley was injured. So that's a difficult one. I mean, I don't think we absolutely need to have either of them back to get a result against Motherwell. I think that's an encouraging thing. Kingsley's been excellent recently. One of his best performances of the season, if not his best performance or best half of the season against Rangers there. And And Mark Leonard, as I've been banging the drum, sort of subtweeting somebody at the same time, but talking about how good a signing Mark Leonard has been. And I actually haven't really appreciated, like, the stats show how good a defensive midfielder he is. I actually hadn't appreciated that about his game. I knew that he was quite well-rounded and got stuck in and stuff, but I didn't realize he was scoring quite as high when it came to defensive metrics. But yes, I don't think it is essential that either get back. But I'm struggling. I mean, do you have an answer? I'm struggling because I think obviously the more the merrier. You want all your best players available, but in terms of like which, I'm not entirely sure because Kingsley's in form and Leonard's been playing really well. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I'll bring in some comments here because there's only been one answer. Well, there's been a number of answers, but one player that's been consistent. And I would just refer back to, I think it was a conversation that we potentially had in the pub on Monday, or on this is my story on Tuesday, and it goes back to, I think it was Mark Donaldson that asked us, because they had a discussion on Scarcer in the funnel, is like, who's that third midfielder? If you go for a midfield three against Motherwell, and there was chat about Blair Spittle, but then with Cammy Devlin, you've got that midfield three of Devlin, Birmingham, and Leonard, which might be a bit more effective, and that's what kind of like Chris Vermacki said. I believe we need Devlin in there. Missed his enthusiasm and energy in the first half on Monday. Happy with Kingsley at left back. Jambo Stew, Cammy for shutting down the midfield runs.
I didn't think about the opponent when I answered. I was trying to think of the Hearts system. But yes, considering now that Hearts are playing Motherwell, you probably want your best ball winners available. So yeah, Cammy Devlin probably just.
Yeah, loads of guys have suggested Cammy. So yes, Jambo Lewis had even mentioned Milne in midfield if he's fit for the weekend. Certainly wouldn't rule that out, because again, like what you said, Craig, Stephen Kingsley has been excellent, never let us down this season. Moving on to I was looking at the comments here. Moving on to another topic, and I want to go back to Monday and the pre-match atmosphere, and then the last couple of days there's been. And we're not going to like stay on the negative side of things, because we're going to turn this into a positive. But a sneering tweet from an Aston Villa account, "Come and Nottingham Forest tonight, please." And then the disrespectful comments from Charlie Mulgrew. Both of them just completely missed it. Absolutely missed it. And it was good to see that the Aston Villa account it's like when any EPL fan slags Scottish football, like the whole of Scottish football seems to get on board and say, just like, shut your noise, stick to your plastic football. Yeah. And then Charlie Mulgrew, he's obviously trying to be funny, but he has just come across as a massive idiot and really disrespectful with his comments to Colin Chisholm. But what I want to say is, like, a lot of the chat about this, there's been a lot of chat about the atmosphere this season, and like Monday we've talked about it as good as it has been in a number of years, and you look at the progress that's been made, and a lot of credit has to go to Colin Chisholm and Hearts getting him involved, because he has set the tone, I think, for the atmosphere, and he has like kind of performed what I always think the Heart song should be before the game, like everyone sing along to it, because it is, no bias, but the best football song in world football.
I love the Hey Jude before it. I think if I had to pick one, that's my favourite. I know the Heart song is the Heart song and it's specific to Hearts and all that, but there's something I love about I like how the Hey Jude goes into the Heart song, but there's something I really like about that Hey Jude, especially when people are twirling their scarves. I know that it gets a bit of criticism from some other fans and things like that, but I think it's a really great spectacle. And I don't know, it's something that I kind of just remember Hearts fans doing when I was too young to know any better. It's just something that I've always seen Hearts fans do, so I kind of like it. But it's easy. It's just the internet culture, isn't it? It's just easy to kind of point fingers and laugh at people like that, which I don't know. I mean, the guy's done a great job of getting the crowd going. you can't measure how much of an effect it has, but he's definitely helped charge the atmosphere before the last 3 home matches now. And a couple of those needed it. That was the reason they got him in the first place, is because there was nervousness around the Hearts fans, and they needed a bit of a pep talk. And there's been a lot of stuff done by podcasts, by the manager, by the ultras, other people at the club, and the likes of Colin Chisholm to kind of generate all this. And it's had an effect, and it's worked. And I don't know. There's a real togetherness at Hearts at the moment,
absolutely.
and I feel like that's part of it as well. And then just these criticisms in general, Charlie Mulgrew, where he said he looked like Jimmy Tarbuck or Noel Edmonds. Those two people don't look anything like each other.
He just looked really foolish. But you're right. It's been a collective effort, and I go back to those 2 games that really stood out.
Weird. Somebody just typed that.
It's going back to the Livy game, the 1-0 game in January, first game of the season, first game of the 2026, and then the Falkirk 1-0 game. Both were just, you wouldn't have felt or thought that Hearts were top of the league at that point in the season, and something had to be done. And like, credit to like the ultras and like Liam and everyone there, just been really pushing and wanting to make Hearts a really vibrant place. The club have bought into it, and like Graham and Keith Easton taken I've done a really good job to start to build that atmosphere as well, like the Hey Jude and stuff. So
definitely.
It's made a massive difference. And like I said, I just want to have a dig at the criticism, but also just like for all of that, you look at social media and all the positive comments about the Heart song and the build up to the atmosphere. McInnes had a wee dig at those who didn't wear maroon on Monday. It was like, but we'll let you off. But it looked.
I hope you noticed that I was wearing maroon.
I can't.
It was a maroon t-shirt under all my black.
I went for subtle maroon on my trainers. So wear
your suit next time.
Yeah, no, that would be that just looks ridiculous. Just me and Tony Bloom were in maroon suits. But yeah, it's just
one last thing before sorry, I thought you were going to move on there, but you mentioned the Eastons, and I think I'm glad you mentioned them, because I know that at one point I think Graham got a lot of unwarranted stick at one point about it, and he was actually actively trying to find ways to do things better and to improve it. And I think some of the criticism, it was a bit off of him, and I know that him and his brother have definitely been doing what they can to improve the atmosphere as well.
And there's been an addition of I can't remember where this started, and someone will be able to tell me the answer to this. But like the song, I think it's by Milky, just the way you are. I don't think it's got any words to it, but it's just like a kind of dancey song that's come on usually at the end of games. That's nice. It's like a nice wee tune, especially when we're going to Europe next season and not having to worry about the Premier League, the Premier Sports Cup, and it seems like a nice summery European.
Is that like the song for? Is that one?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's. Right, that's the one. I think that's the one. So I just think atmosphere has been great, and I think everyone's just understood the need to the impact it can have, and it's again going back to that phrase that someone said was it's been a real collective effort, and it's been can't wait until Wednesday. I just try not to look ahead at Motherwell, but if the atmosphere, if there's a chance to win it on Wednesday night, and Jesus, we'll park that until after Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, and again, without looking too far ahead, I was listening to Football Cliches this morning, and they were talking about the status of the Premier League title race and Arsenal being in the driving seat. You're a cliches man, Craig. What would you describe Hearts' position as at the moment? Just because Scott Brown, again, I'm bringing loads of ex-Celtic players on this, I really don't mean to, but he was like, it's still, well, technically it is, but he was like, I still feel it's in Celtic's hands.
Is it? Well, I suppose it is in Celtic's hands. It is, because they could still win. They could still win all their games and win the league, even if Hearts were to win the next two. Even if it would maybe come down to goal difference. Yeah, I think what's stronger than in the driving seat? I mean, it's like one hand on the trophy. It's like something like that, isn't it? Because I feel like and I've been struggling to even choose my thoughts properly, never mind choose my words properly, as to not kind of get too ahead of myself or to jinx it. But Monday just felt significant, and it feels like Celtic have to be perfect, and they've got two teams that they haven't beaten all season to go in their last three matches, and then another tough away game as well, who they've lost to this season already. So for me, it would only be some sort of spectacular collapse now if for Hearts not to win it. So I feel like we're in one hand on the trophy territory or some similar sort of idiom. No,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you're going so strong, just because it's. I would have put the it's.
Well, what else would one hand on the trophy be, do you think? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. I think it's within Hearts' grasp. It's within Hearts' grasp.
Within their grasp. Okay.
Yeah. And I think
so that's a step back from one hand.
yeah. Just because like because of the fixtures and just being 3 points and 3 points in front. If for example, again, this is then we kind of talked about people would just going to be driving themselves mad talking about connotations or potentials for results and how you can win it. But if we won on Saturday and then Celtic drop points, I think there's one hand on the trophy. There's one hand on the trophy. But I just think a mate messaged me on Monday or Tuesday, and it was in our group chat, and it was a Dundee fan said, "Just imagine being your Hearts and you basically need to potentially just beat Motherwell and Falkirk to win the title," which is it's mental to say that. And then a mate texted me today, and he was like, "If Hearts beat Motherwell, the Premiership trophy is likely going to be at Tynecastle on Wednesday, just because if Motherwell potentially drop points." So it's just all these things as it goes through your head as a fan, which you take into consideration.
Couple of responses to this as we've been talking about it. Jambo Stu suggests that both Hearts and Celtic have a hand on the trophy. He says a handle each. We have, there we go, from Mr. Swavgav. Rangers beat Celtic and we win or draw against Motherwell, it'll be one hand on the trophy. But then Gavaldo says one hand on the trophy when we actually have it in our hands. I hope we've got both hands on it at that point. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so Aberdeen, that was just Motherwell first. Let's deal with Motherwell first. I'll bring in some comments just before we finish. Jambo Lewis asks, when do Champions League playoffs take place? I was actually looking at this yesterday just because I was thinking about the road to Madrid in my head. That's where the finals get played next year. The playoffs are on the 18th and 19th and 25th and 26th of August. So hopefully that's something to look forward to. Russell McLaughlin says Spittle from the start against his former club. Devlin off the bench if he's not quite there. Again, these guys, Devlin and Mill, haven't been training a lot in terms of full training, so it might be too soon to start them, but it'd be good to have them as options even off the bench. Where else? This is a really good point I wanted to bring in from McKenna40, and he says just in relation to the potential achievement of winning the league compared to the last time a team out with the Old Firm won it, when it was Aberdeen in 1985, is the financial gap is massive. So in terms of, I would imagine the financial gap between Hearts and Celtic and Rangers now is bigger than it was Aberdeen to Celtic and Rangers back then.
Yeah, when you're comparing, it's just completely different eras of football. But yes, even down to the point where the points you got for a win was different at that point. So it was completely different eras, really. But yes, I don't think there's any doubt in that there's, because it wasn't too long after that the Champions League came into play and Sky Sports down south as well, and those are the kinds of things that just piled tons and tons of money into the sport that wasn't there before, and then created this sort of elite European tier. So yes, that's why Celtic and to a lesser extent Rangers are so far ahead when it comes to those things, because the European competitions just makes a couple of teams more rich than everybody else in their league, basically.
And finally, HMFC edits. Does Leonard have any sort of option to buy in his loan contract? I don't believe so. I think it was just a straight up loan, as far as I'm aware.
Did you say you were looking up what were you saying earlier about Madrid?
Oh, that was just the final. The Champions League finals in Madrid next year. So that's where I was just joking about the road to Madrid.
Because this was me on Tuesday morning.
Oh yeah, that's. I had to zoom in and see that was Barcelona.
I'm not going to drive though. I don't think. Probably won't be driving.
Well, we'll see what the expenses are like, and if when it comes to. We will leave it there, Craig. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in, listening and engaging and firing in your comments. There was loads, too many to get to, but we tried to bring in them as where and when possible. We will be back on Friday in one guise or another to look ahead to the Motherwell game and more in depth for this game on Saturday. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. Remember, it's live on Sky. I think that's it. And this was brought to you by Campbell Muir. I've got Campbell Muir as a specialist search firm operating the UK and US insurance markets, placing senior insurance and professionals into some of the world's top brokerages. You can find them at www.campbell-muir.com. There we go. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely Thursday evening, and we'll be back again soon. Bye-bye.